Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Squad Pod Sports, episode 7. Got a lot of things to talk about, man. Football is back
Week
officially.
one.
Had the
Week
games here
one.
this past weekend. Oh my gosh, it's so exciting. It's back. Other than that, we're going to talk about well our predictions here that we had at the last podcast. See how we did.
How everything played
We're gonna-
out, you know.
exactly. We're going to see how a little rundown of how our fantasy teams are doing right now as well. Before we move on to the week 2 predictions. Got a lot of good games here this weekend as well coming up. And then we're going to talk about the NHL and NBA playoffs once again, see where everybody's at here. And then we'll lead off into the bias bubble and the crazy sports stat of the podcast. But yeah, we're going to talk NFL, man.
So
NFL's
much
officially
NFL.
back.
It's rolling. No preseason, just straight week 1. Here you go. Here's some games that mean things,
Exactly.
Here you go.
A lot of storylines already coming out of week 1. It's like who thought after like just one weekend of games that like so much is happening already.
Everybody's anticipating football. They want it back.
They really are. I mean, the Chiefs came out and were the Chiefs. They put a whooping on the Houston Texans. I mean, Texans got some points there at the end.
For some reason, I picked
but...
the Texans. I was wrong, but that's okay. Got a lot of
that's
season
right, it
left.
happens, man.
Got a lot of season left.
What else do we have here? Yeah, and we're just gonna get right into it, man. My Birds lost
Yeah,
to the
man.
Washington Redskins. Oh, the Washington No Name. Sorry, I keep it comes in my head every time.
Right.
The Washington No Name.
It's hard.
The team without a name we lost to.
I predicted that y'all would win big time, big time, and
yeah, and it was looking like it was gonna happen in the first half.
Rewatching that episode today, though, I was like, oh man, that was some of my predictions. I mean, like, so like hopefully week 2's a little bit better. But what do you think about them Birds?
Man, I mean, I'll talk more about it in the bias bubble here at the end, but it's not looking good. I mean, after some news today, I feel a little better about the situation, but it was very troubling since Sunday after I think it was 4:30 after like when the game was over and everything, and I was pretty disturbed about the state of this team. But yeah, I mean, Washington. They only won because we let them win at that point, I think. We gave them the game. We gave them good field position. They came back.
They were
They
hungry.
didn't have a drive over 45 yards. So it was like every time they scored is off of an interception or off of a turnover where it was already close to the end zone,
Yeah.
So, I mean, we gave them the game. Our defense statistically played amazing. It's the O-line. Like, even the backups were hurt. So
it was definitely surprising.
And Carson, I mean, a lot of it was on Carson. He played a terrible game after the second half, making bad decisions, taking sacks he shouldn't have, throwing. And I also put a lot of the blame on Doug for not trying to change up the scheme. Like the O-line was crumbling. Why didn't you have him roll out? He was just standing in the pocket the whole time. Could have did something different. But I mean,
they tried
it is what it is. I'll talk about it a little more later. But like that's not what. If you want to win games, you got to be able to change it up.
Do you want to talk about our little how week 1 went? Our records. We'll put them up on the screen here.
Yeah, we'll put them up on the screen here. This is what we predicted in the last episode of the Squad Pod.
And this is how it turned out as far as our win-loss on every game that we picked. I'd say we didn't do too bad. We were very close. We didn't do too bad.
We had over 10 correct.
Exactly.
Both. So I mean that's not bad at all.
Some of the main differences we had, obviously, if you watched last week,
pretty much.
But if you watched last week, you saw I picked the Texans. Wyatt, who's a smart man, picked the Chiefs, and that's one of the.
Champs.
We both picked Philly. We both picked Detroit, so that was another one.
And it was looking like that was going to be true too, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, exactly. That, oh my God, how did them Bears come back? But we'll get to that. We both picked Indianapolis, which was another loss for both of us. We both picked the 49ers, another one. I picked the Buccaneers. I went with.
Yeah, that was one of the games that could have went either way.
Right,
So,
right. But other than that, we were nice. Win, 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 win,
yeah,
win, win, win
I
on
think
all
we
the
had
rest of them.
the Green Bay and the Minnesota game switched as well.
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot that one. You did
Yeah,
have you
but that
had
was another game
Minnesota,
that could have went either way.
right?
Um,
But hey, I'm hoping
yeah,
week 2 is a little bit better than week 1, if not just as good.
definitely.
That's fine with me.
Um, yeah, we talked about Eagles and the Washington no names. How do you lose to a team without a name? I don't understand it, but we'll move past it. The Seahawks put a whooping on the Falcons
And Russell
here.
Wilson, 4 touchdowns.
Russell Russellmania, brother.
Russell
He's out there
Mania
doing his thing, man.
does what
Like
he wants
the
to
O
do.
line, like Carson just needed to channel Russell because that O line was breaking, and Russ just somehow,
He didn't
some
even
way makes
care.
a play every time.
He didn't even care. He was
Every
just
time.
running around like, I don't care. I'll still make a play.
Every
322
time.
yards. I'll still make a play. You know what I mean? Like, it's just crazy. I said it on the last
Yeah, and
podcast.
it's not like he rolls out and throws like a little dink and dunk pass. He's like throwing it across the field sometimes.
Throwing it
Rolling out to
deep
the right, throwing it straight, yeah, deep to the left.
to DK Metcalf.
Yeah, DK Metcalf, and then like Chris Carson is balling,
Oh my god.
like picking up where he left off. I mean, Seahawks like every year they have potential to like they could be a Super Bowl contender, and
Right.
just something happens. You know?
I think
Like,
they have, if they can stay healthy, they'll be able to
Mhm.
just kind of march along. They'll definitely be a 1 or 2 seed in the playoffs, even though it just matters for the 1 seed this year.
yeah,
I think they'll definitely be up there at the end of the year if they can keep playing at
yeah.
the level they
I mean,
play.
it helps they got the bull from the Jets on safety now.
Jamal Adams.
Yeah, Jamal Adams,
Mhm.
he's over there. So like, defense definitely helps them.
Right?
You know, yeah, gets that offense back out, and pretty much when Russ is on the field, he's probably gonna get a touchdown.
But on
Seems.
the other side, Julio Jones had a damn good game. 157 yards.
I mean, technically, both teams had great games.
Right. What did
Matty
that-
Ice, he threw a ton of yards.
450.
He threw a ton of yards.
450.
Yeah. I think he's like the league leader right now
Damn.
in yards.
He was trying to play comeback the whole time though, you know.
And I think like Aaron Rodgers is behind him. But yeah, I mean, they balled, man.
Mm.
Todd Gurley, I think he had a touchdown. I think.
Rushing touchdown.
Yeah, he had a rushing touchdown. But yeah, I mean, the Falcons. I mean, it's week 1, so we don't know what any of the teams really look like so far. But I mean, they could do something, man, as long as they don't get figured out. But it seems like it's always something with the Falcons now since
Right.
that's Super Bowl.
It's the defense. It's always been the defense with them.
Hmm.
You know,
Definitely.
they can't seem to get that shit figured out, and it's like that's your Achilles heel. You
Mhm.
tried. Matt Ryan had 450 yards, and they still lost by like 10 points. You know,
And Julio just doesn't lose a step every year for some reason. He's just balling
they
all the
lost
time.
by 13 points.
Yeah,
It's
they
ridiculous.
just like just couldn't stop. They have no answer for WrestleMania and the Seahawks.
WrestleMania, brother.
And then we got another one that started out pretty crazy. Was the Bills and the Jets.
What were they up?
It was
21.
27-17.
I think they were up 21-0 at one point.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like the score makes it look closer than it actually was.
Yeah. That one we
the Bills
picked.
pretty much controlled that whole game, man. They look nice.
I mean, it was the Jets.
Yeah, I mean, that's not to say, yeah, it was the Jets, but I mean, the Bills did have some embarrassing plays as well.
Right.
I know old Wheels took off the one time, and then he kind of reached out with one arm to get the first down, and like the ball just popped out immediately.
It looked like he just threw
right
it
into
forward.
the guy's hand.
He's just like,
It's like, yeah, right into the defender's hand.
oh.
So I mean, they got a lot of stuff they need to clean up, but I mean, it seems like they're picking up where they left off as well.
Right.
But I mean, it's against the Jets,
Hey,
who are definitely.
he had a hell of a game though. I mean, like it was the Jets.
Oh
but
yeah,
Josh Allen still had 300 yards.
I think he's one. I think he's in the top 5 of yards as
Yeah.
well. You know, I saw that. So I mean, I think he was number 5.
We'll see how
But
it
yeah,
goes
I
next
mean-
week for him.
It's talented, man. And then we got the crazy game, the Bears and the Lions. The Bears won 27-23.
Down like
the Lions
17
controlled
points.
this game. They controlled this game the whole time, pretty much.
The Bears scored 21 points in the fourth quarter to win this game. How? Trubisky
Mitchell
threw
Trubisky.
3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter.
I had to like. Is that Mitchell Trubisky? Who is that? Who is that man throwing 3 touchdowns?
Nick Foles
with a
somewhere
comeback
like,
win?
damn. I guess my ass is
He's on the
staying on the
team. He's
bench.
the one that told him what to do. He's like, hey man, this is exactly what you got to
Hey,
do.
maybe that's what happened. Maybe that's why. Maybe. Hey,
I'll show you what it takes.
Adrian Peterson also had almost 100 yards. You know.
Yeah, I was surprised that like they used him because I think he was only picked up like a week before the game, man.
Right, the Lions.
So
I
that's
mean,
crazy to see him come out and get that many yards like right away.
Even though they lost, like
Yeah.
it's just crazy. I mean, AP still got it. He maybe not as
AP's
much,
definitely got it.
not like 297 yards type of shit. I think that was the one game he had a shitload of yards, but he's still.
Yeah.
I don't think any running back broke 100 yards on Sunday.
I don't think so. Not that I know of.
I know Clyde Edwards on the Chiefs. He did on Thursday, but I don't think any running backs had over 100 yards on Sunday, which was kind of weird.
Okay.
Benny Snell did,
yeah, man.
and Derrick Henry did on Monday. But
Okay. Yeah.
we kind of already
That
talked
makes
a little
sense.
bit about Green Bay and the Vikings, but that was a pretty good game.
Yeah. 43-34, man.
That was a pretty good game.
Aaron Rodgers was slinging.
He was just
Bro.
Devontae
Devontae
Adams.
Adams
You up?
absolutely blew up, man.
It was amazing.
It was amazing.
Unfortunately,
I have him on my fantasy team.
I
was
have
like-
Aaron Rodgers, and he was on my bench. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Yeah, we kind of talked about that. Vikings, they looked kind of shoddy at first, but they definitely found their groove.
Yeah, I mean,
And that's when it was a little too little too late at that point.
Right. Aaron Rodgers was
Aaron's
already
already
hot.
slinging them.
He was already
Yeah,
feeling it.
It's like the Chiefs. If you let the Chiefs put up touchdowns, you're not catching them at that point.
Exactly.
Good luck.
Next thing you know, it's 27 unanswered. You're like, oh my god, the fuck just
Exactly.
happened?
And then we got your boys, the old Patriots, and Cam Newton
Cam
The debut
Newton's
of Cam Newton
debut, his first
versus the
game,
Miami Dolphins.
first game as a Patriot, and he has the longest rushing touchdown at 11 yards. Already a longer rushing touchdown than Tom Brady's ever had in his career in New England. Okay, and set a record for the most rushing yards by a quarterback in New England in a game. So, things are looking good. Things are looking great. I don't know how I feel about him running the ball all the time, but
I was really surprised to see how much he ran the ball.
it's
To be
looking
honest,
all right, man. It's looking all right.
maybe Bill doesn't trust your like running back by committee so far, so he's like, we got Cam
He's
too.
playing it safe. He's 75 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns.
He's just stealing like all of the Ravens plays for like QB runs.
running them RPOs, man. I was just happy to see it. It was the Dolphins, just like we said. It's
Yeah.
the Jets for the Bills. I want to see what
That's
we look like against them Bills. That's going to be a
Yeah.
nice test for us, you know.
That's the perfect test for you.
But unfortunately, next week they play Seattle. So
I mean, that's a good test too. See what if you guys can keep up. Like, see if you guys. I think your defense will be able to stop Russ a couple times. So you
We'll
got to
see
be
how
able
it
to
goes.
capitalize in between those times.
we'll see how it
though.
goes. I have faith in
You
Bill
guys might have
Belichick.
to pick up the passing game.
Yeah, it might have to get a little more than 21 points on the board to beat Seattle. They had 38 against the
Yeah.
Falcons, so
Mm-hmm.
we'll see what happens there.
Stephon Gilmore, though. You got Gilly in the back.
You want to talk
So-
about Washington or in Philly anymore? Or we moving past that one because we already covered that in the beginning a little bit.
We already talked about that. I'll talk about it a little bit in the bias bubble. But the Raiders and Panthers.
Raiders
I thought
Panthers.
the Panthers were gonna win this game. It looked like the Panthers were out to win it. Teddy B started balling,
It's
and then
Josh Jacobs. It's Josh Jacobs, man. I think they say
Josh Jacobs happened.
he got the Snickers Hungry Player of the Week chain, the big chain they send you. Like
Yeah.
3 touchdowns, man. 93 yards.
Deep ball, dude.
it's gonna be
Absolutely.
hard to stop him. It really
Hmm.
is. It's gonna take
Yeah.
good defense to. I mean,
Raiders played really well, man.
they
I
did.
was surprised by the Raiders. What's his name? Old forgetful.
Derek
The
Carr.
QB. Derek Carr. You already know. See, you knew who I was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Old forgetful. He threw
Mm-hmm.
some nice passes. He
Right.
had like one in the corner of the end zone that one time.
Kept them in the
Um,
game.
and Henry Ruggs looked really nice as
Yeah.
a rookie. Man,
He got.
he came out. I mean, he had a little injury scare.
I was wondering.
Um,
I didn't know how that ended up. How is he? Is he okay?
he came back and then played a little bit. Yeah, I think he
Okay.
played a couple plays after that. Yeah, after he came back from the locker room. But I
Gotcha.
think he's good. I think he's still gonna play. But yeah, I mean the Raiders, they're looking good, man. If they start rolling, I think they could be a good team.
All right.
Derek
Well, I
Carr,
mean,
see what if the pressure can if he can withstand the pressure.
my
And then we got the
dad.
upset.
My dad's
Yeah,
a
your
Raiders
dad's gonna
fan.
love it, man. You're never gonna hear the end of it.
But
And then we
what's
got the
next here?
upset of the week, the Colts and the Jaguars.
I did
We
not see
thought
this coming.
the great Jaguars tank job was in full effect here week one, but no,
I thought they
no,
gave
no.
up.
Maybe they had it all figured out all along. Maybe we all just doubted them, and they actually knew what they were doing with these players. They knew what talent they had,
They knew
and
the power of
yeah,
Minshew mania. That's the
the
difference.
legend, the
The
man, the myth, the
legend.
legend,
Did you
Gardner
see
Minshew,
his
Uncle
facial hair?
Rico,
The way he shaved? It's like he's back.
and he
Minshew
has like
mania
the long ass
2.0.
hair now. He's got like the super long hair, so he's like when he takes his helmet off, he's like he's like a legend, dude. Like I'm
He's
not a big fan of
upgraded.
Jacksonville, but
He's
I like Gardner Minshew.
upgrade. Minshew
He
mania
like broke some
2.0.
kind of NFL record also by like it was like a passer rating or some shit. I think he only missed 2 passes that whole game.
For real.
Yeah, dude, it was wild. He ended up breaking some kind of NFL record. Um, I want to look see what his stats were really quick. He was 19 for 20 with 173 yards
Three
and 3
touchdowns.
touchdowns, no interceptions.
Damn.
Bro, Gardner Minshew balled.
He came to play.
Bro, I don't know what's going on. Their defense was nice. I don't like they might have figured it out over there. I don't know, unless it was a flash in the pan. Who knows? It could have been the Colts. I mean,
We'll see who they run into next week. Who do they play next week?
Philip. I don't know. I haven't looked to be honest yet.
We'll get to that.
Philip Rivers, he makes a lot of good decisions and a lot of bad decisions. Whenever he finds a way to make bad decisions when he doesn't need to. Like when
He
it's the
just
worst
kind of
time to
heaves
make
the
bad
ball, man.
decisions.
He just heaves it, and he doesn't like
Yeah.
really. He just like, oh, and then next thing you know, it's a pick.
Yeah.
He's walking
It's
off
like
the
how
field all
Alex
pissed
was
off.
talking about with like Big Ben, where it's like he just goes for it every time. Like he
Mhm.
just doesn't matter. Like I'm not throwing this away. I'm throwing it, and someone's catching it. Someone's gonna catch this ball.
Yep.
But I don't know, man. I thought the Colts were gonna be nice. I mean, there's still a lot of time left in the season.
Next, we got Baltimore and Cleveland, which we knew what was going to happen.
Cleveland, I mean, they're a mess right
They're
now.
terrible.
They're terrible.
They're
They're
terrible.
shopping Odell Beckham Jr. as of today. Officially, they're looking to get him out of town.
Lamar Jackson came out 3 touchdowns, 275 yards, looking great. You know, I think they're going to have the
36.
same type of year they had last year. Put up at
Yeah.
least 13 wins. Like, moving on.
I mean, moving on. It's business as usual. for the
Exactly.
Ravens. Chargers and Bengals. Joe Burrow was literally like this close to getting the first win and brought to bring a lot of hope to Cincinnati fans'
You
hearts.
see his face?
Yeah, Joe Burrow almost had his first win in his first start of his NFL career, and all they needed was to make a field goal. But nope, in typical Cincinnati Bengals fashion, they missed the last field goal and lose the game.
That's how they're going to wind up going like 2-14.
Yeah.
They're going to lose
Something
games like that.
Man, I feel bad because I would like to see Joe Burrow get his first win.
Hey,
Cincinnati deserves it at this point, but I mean,
I'm
it
glad-
seems like they're cursed.
I'm glad Tyrod was at least like he didn't ruin the game for the Chargers. You know, he didn't throw any touchdowns, but
Yeah.
still 208 yards. He was doing what he had to do. No
Yeah,
interceptions.
yeah, they looking to win that game, and they did. I
Exactly.
mean, they got what they needed. And then the big game of the day was next: the Buccaneers versus the Saints.
Oh,
Oh, Tampa
Tom,
Bay Buccaneers.
terrific. Didn't do nothing. Didn't do
Tom Brady
nothing.
showed his age on Sunday.
Two
He
picks.
played like a 42 or 43-year-old quarterback.
They got damaged
I think
goods.
it's like three pick sixes in his last like 3 games or some shit like that. That's
Yeah,
all. I don't know. It's not like Tom Brady. Other than like he had the first touchdown, he ran in the touchdown.
that was pretty exciting.
That was pretty exciting. It was
But
like, well, it's welcome Tom Brady to Tampa Bay,
and
but
then
it didn't last long
here
because
came Drew
the Saints
Brees
started winning.
doing what Drew Brees does. Just kept it like, I've been here for a while. We know what we're doing here. We're gonna thump you. You know that, right?
Yeah.
It happened. And it happened. That defense is better than the Buccaneers defense. Like, I don't know why I picked the Buccaneers. I picked the
And
Buccaneers because
Gronk
of Tom
had
Brady and Gronk. That's the only
yeah, you
reason.
thought it was going to work out. Like they're going to have to develop a rhythm,
Learn
just
my
like any
lesson.
team.
Learn my lesson.
But Gronk only had like 11 yards, so I mean he wasn't really out. I think the second tight end did even better for him than
OJ Howard, I'm
Gronk.
pretty sure, had a touchdown.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean that game. I mean it could have went either way, but I think the Buccaneers nobody kind of expected them to look that bad.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. I mean a lot of season left. It's just week 1,
I
and
think
then we have
this was the
yeah
upset of the day, to be honest. The Cardinals and the 49ers.
49ers Cardinals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean
I
the
was not
49ers led
expecting
that
this.
game.
I just wasn't expecting it. Like, Kyler Murray only had what? Let me see how many rushing. He had 91 rushing yards. Kyler Murray.
I didn't know that.
Damn, and a touchdown. Okay, 230 passing yards and a touchdown. So Kyler Murray had a damn good game.
Jeez.
DeAndre Hopkins 151 yards.
Yeah, D Hop had a game. I know. Yeah.
What did
D
we
Hop had an
expect?
amazing game.
What did we expect?
And his new team,
Still the same D Hop.
same D Hop, out here doing his thing.
Maybe he's got one of
I'm
the
glad he's in a place that he wants to be.
right. Other than Deshaun
Like,
Watson, this is probably like the best quarterback that he's had. Other than Deshaun Watson,
yeah. And I think the absence of D Hop really showed on the Texans.
Yeah.
Coming back to the game.
Yeah.
I think they need a one receiver, a
Well,
number one.
especially against someone like the Chiefs.
Well, yeah,
They're
definitely.
just
We'll
not
see
going to
how
be able to pace with
that.
them.
We'll see how they do the rest of the season.
Right.
Um,
Next up,
but yeah, that was a upset. The 49ers, they shot themselves in the foot
I
there.
mean-
They could have won that game.
Jimmy Garoppolo. I just not clutch. I know he's got
Not
a lot of
clutch.
wins, but like there's certain times I'm just like, man, Jimmy G. what are
That
you
defense and that run game helped get a lot of those wins.
doing? He's more of a
Yeah,
game
he hasn't
manager.
been clutch.
He's not gonna be like
Yeah.
leading the drive to win you the game. I just don't see it. I just don't.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, if it's like a 2-minute drill, you gotta come back and win. I wouldn't take
No.
Jimmy G there.
I
At all.
trust Kyler Murray doing some crazy shit I never seen before. More than that.
Over Jimmy G. And then the primetime game that night was the Rams and the old Cowboys.
Cowboy.
What happened to them? Skip. What happened to them Cowboys?
I'm glad we both picked the
Uh,
Rams on this one.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to big games like this, Dallas is gonna choke. That's just the bias me coming out
I
because
mean,
I'm a Dallas hater.
Zeke almost
but-
had 100 yards, but
He did.
it
He
ain't enough.
They used them how they were supposed to use them. Mike McCarthy was doing his thing, but Mike McCarthy also made a lot of dumb decisions. He looked like Jason Garrett out there sometimes. Like, y'all could have kicked that field goal to tie the game up, but you went for it, and then
Oh
you
my
failed.
God.
And then that's why you lost the game.
That's
and then,
literally why he
I mean,
lost
they're
the
going to
game.
they blame it on the pass interference call, but you guys could have tied the game up. You could have won the
Exactly.
game.
It's ridiculous.
Dak, not clutch either.
I mean, he had
I
over
think-
200 yards too, but like it just didn't end up.
Yeah.
He couldn't end it up. Malcolm Brown, 2 touchdowns on the ground for the Rams. Jared
Yeah.
Goff, almost 300 yards.
I mean, the Cowboys were banged up too. They had a couple
Oh my
injuries. I think
God.
their tight
I
end went
wanted to
out.
get to that.
That Clayton Vander Esch, I
He's
think his name is, broke
collarbone
his collarbone. Yeah, he's out for a
for
while.
weeks. They had an offensive
Yeah,
lineman who tore his Achilles. I'm like,
yeah.
damn, week
It's
one,
it's scary, man. Scary out here, man.
week one.
I mean, I hate the Cowboys, but you don't want to see injuries like that, man.
Exactly. You don't want to see
Like
anybody get
on
hurt.
any team. I mean, I think the Rams overall look like a good team, though. Even without Todd Gurley, I think they look pretty decent.
Right.
That new
I
running
mean,
back they
shit.
have
They got
was
two.
really nice.
They got 2 or 3 good running backs out there. They're fine.
Yeah, they're fine.
Right.
I think the running back by Kamei is going to suit them a lot more than just having one Todd Gurley,
Yeah.
one Hulk. You know.
Who's predictable in a way, even though he had a touchdown
Yeah.
this weekend.
And then we had 2 games last night,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, I didn't get to watch we didn't get to watch the second game because I mean, fucking halftime was at midnight
I know.
or some shit. It was
like,
fun. Like, who was staying up to watch this game? Cody. Probably.
Not happy.
But the first game was the Steelers and the G-Men, the Giants.
Mm-hmm.
We all knew the outcome of that game.
Big Ben looked good. Big Ben looked good.
Big Ben looked good. They started out that offense. I'm not convinced their offense has what it takes. I mean, it was the Giants.
And
we'll see how it is
it's
against decent teams. They got rolling. They developed the rhythm like any team has to. But that defense, man, like we talked about it, that Steelers defense is no joke.
Might be the best in the league.
Might be the best in the league. It definitely is as of right now.
We'll see how the
next
rest
to
of the
you
season
guys had a couple picks also.
plays out. But like, it might be the best defense in the league.
Yeah, but I mean that offense, it's just not scary. So like, I'm not scared. Like when I watch that, I'm not scared of that offense.
What about
particularly
Juju coming down with 2 touchdowns though? Like we were talking about how is this because this is a prove it year for him, and he came out. He got 2 touchdowns. You know,
he came out and proved it. But I mean, it's Giants. We'll see. Like there's a lot of season. We'll see what happens.
We'll see.
I mean, on the other hand, the Giants they had flashes of decency.
Let me ask you something.
Yeah,
Does
but
this
Danny
center feel
does
like a compromise?
have a lot of mistakes.
Danny
It's good, right?
turnovers.
Danny turnover.
That's
Yeah,
his
the
name.
one he just like lobbed up in the air. The one he like threw directly to the Watt. I think that was the Watt brother.
I was like,
He
what?
threw directly to him.
What the?
And then the other one towards the end of the game, he just whipped it up into the end zone. Like as he was running out of bounds, he just chucked it into the end zone, like not even aiming for anybody. And it like just went straight up, right down into one of the Steelers' hands. And it's like, come on, man.
To me,
Like you could have threw it away.
his name is Danny Turnovers now.
Yeah, I mean he had a couple decent good plays. I mean he was the only one making plays. I mean Saquon had less yards than Big Ben rushing.
know. It was crazy. they said at one point his longest run was a 7-yard run, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so like without that he would have been negative 6, you know? And I was just like that's or whatever it was. It was just so crazy.
Steelers defensive line and everything, man. Scary.
I remember at one point they were just.
But yeah, I mean Danny had some good throws though. They're the Giants. It's gonna happen.
I don't trust the Giants.
They're gonna be bottoms here this year.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can't trust them.
You
can't trust them. And then you got the Titans, Broncos.
This was actually a very good game, though. But it was a very good game.
Good game. Yeah, very tough fought.
Very back and forth.
Very back and forth. Broncos looked pretty all right without Von Miller. I do say they stood their ground. They were able to somewhat. They thought they were going to win it. I mean,
Derrick Henry still ran all over him.
Yeah, 116 yards. Yeah,
he still was a monster.
You can't stop him, dude. He's literally bigger than like defensive linemen and offensive linemen, dude.
Pushing people over.
Just running through people. He's a brick wall on wheels.
It's amazing.
It's wild. Even Ryan Tannehill, he had like 250 yards.
Mm-hmm.
He was able to sling it. He proved that he could put it on. He had 2 touchdowns, no interceptions.
Right.
He was able to sling it. I think
It's
Yeah,
looking
even
nice.
Drew Lock, he had 200 yards, over 200 yards. He didn't throw an interception at
The
all.
young bull, what's his name? Jerry Judy. Don't they got him out
Yeah,
there?
the
How
rookie.
many yards did he have?
Yeah, Jerry Judy had let me see here.
Because I know I saw him have a couple nice
He had
catches.
56 yards, four
Okay.
catches for 56 yards. So
Okay.
he had some decent yards after catch. Um, yeah, they had another young dude too. I think I don't know if he
They still got
played.
Sutton out there, but you mean like another rookie?
Yeah, I thought so. I don't know. Oh, Drew Lock had two fumbles.
Ooh.
But he did have 200 yards and a touchdown. Not bad. I mean, it seems like Denver might have found the one. Maybe, maybe they have a
For
QB to grow
now.
with for now.
For now.
I mean, it is Denver.
Exactly.
Um, yeah. I mean, that was all the games that happened this week one. It was exciting week one.
Like I said,
Uh,
you were 11-5 with the picks. I was 10-6. We're gonna keep track of that all year, see who's better at the end, and like we said last week, the winner will get something. We don't know exactly what it'll be. We'll figure that shit out. Winner will get something. But
and before we head into like our week two predictions, we will talk about how our fantasy teams did a little bit.
right,
How'd you do this weekend, Vern?
bad,
Bad.
very bad, and
That's not good, man. What happened?
it's not my fault. I mean, it's 100% my fault. It is 100% my fault. Okay, I have Aaron Rodgers, who I drafted pretty late, but like as my number one quarterback. Drafted him as
Mm-hmm.
my number one quarterback. Maybe 4 rounds later, 3 rounds later, Tom Brady's still hanging around, and me being the dumb Patriots fan, I'm like, I'm gonna scoop Tom Brady as my backup. Week one, I can't help myself but to start Tom Brady in a shootout, what I think is going to be a shootout with Drew Brees. Okay, Aaron Rodgers gets 60 points on my bench. I lose.
Gee.
I lost by almost the difference of Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. I'm pretty much lost by the difference.
Gosh.
You know,
That,
and
that that hurts the worst.
to just throw like a little bit of salt in there, Le'Veon Bell put on IR out at least until week 5. So like, who knows what's up with him? Like you were telling me earlier that he's not even apparently really hurt or something, but it
I
says
don't know. I
hamstring
don't know what's
injury.
going on.
So
That's not confirmed.
I don't know
Um,
exactly what's
we'll
going
see.
on with.
I don't think they would be able to put him on IR if he wasn't hurt.
Right,
So
he's on IR for at least 5 weeks.
yeah.
That's how my
I
team's
mean,
looking right now. I
from
lost
what
week
I
one.
from what I understand, there's like new IR rules here this year, where you can pretty much there's no limit this year on who you add to the IR.
Yeah.
But apparently you have to, if they're on for 3 weeks, you have to activate them or drop them,
Oh
something like that.
shit.
Yeah, I saw it because like you pretty much pick up other players, so I mean you have to drop somebody. So I
Right, you
mean
can't just keep adding people to your roster throughout the year.
exactly. But it like when there's normally like you're only allowed to add a certain amount of people to the IR every year.
Mm,
Now because due to COVID and everything,
just in case.
there's yeah, you can just do it at will. And I mean every team is right now because there's so many people hurt on every team.
Yeah.
It seems like.
That's crazy, man.
But yeah, other than Aaron Rodgers, how else did your team do? I mean, Le'Veon was hurt. Was there any good spots on
I
your
did
team?
have some bright spots. I have Julio Jones, who balled out.
Okay.
I mean, fact of the matter is, at least I do have Aaron Rodgers, even though he was on my bench. Next week,
Yeah.
you know he's starting, so at least I got Aaron Rodgers. I have Hollywood Brown from Baltimore, balled out for me.
Nice.
You know, Nick
That's a
Chubb,
good pickup.
Mark
Yeah.
Andrews from Baltimore, 2 touchdowns.
He had like 2 touchdowns. He
Mhm.
was really he had like that sweet one hand grab in the back of the end zone.
Right, that was amazing. He just came down with it on his
Yeah, that's
back.
like catch of the year so far.
I also have Edelman as my little flex there. He didn't do too bad, you know. He ended up with
Yeah.
57 yards, so not too bad, you know.
Okay, that's not too bad, man.
I also
Got you
got
some decent points.
like Ronald Jones, Adrian Peterson, OJ Howard on my bench, like just like some little pieces there. It's not looking great, but like hey,
Yeah.
on to week 2. We'll see what happens week 2, man. Like honestly, I don't even know who I play
Yeah.
in our league here, but I need to do something,
I
especially with
play
Le'Veon
Alex this
out.
coming week.
You play Alex? Oh man.
I play Alex this
Good
coming
luck.
week, so it's going to be a tough matchup. He's projected to win, so we'll see.
Oh no.
I was projected to lose this past week too, but my team demolished this week. My team exceeded my expectations like crazy. Um, Old Russellmania himself got me 59 points.
Right.
Um, and then I had old Devontae Adams. He got me 51 points.
Product
Man, he
of
had so
my
many
Aaron Rodgers on the bench.
Exactly. Um, low spot, I put Deshaun Jackson in. I thought he was going to have a couple touchdowns.
Yeah.
Turns out Deshaun Jackson is on a snap count, so he's not even playing every down. They're increasing his workload every week, they announced. Like, y'all
Just to try to get him to the postseason.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, you guys couldn't have said that going into the week, like, let fantasy people know at least.
Treat him like he's Kawhi Leonard.
Snap count. I mean, he got me 12 points. Regardless, it's not bad.
That's still pretty good
like,
for not
better.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got me more than Zach Ertz. I had playing. Zach Ertz had 11 points, and he had a touchdown. Another huge bright spot was Josh Jacobs. He had 47 points for me.
Nice.
I had him as well. My injury of the season so far is Marlon Mack. He's out for the season. He was one of my starting running backs. So he's.
I had him last year.
Gotta find a replacement here.
He's so good, man.
Yeah, and then I had my other bright spot. I wasn't expecting to get this many points. Was Will Fuller for the Texans. He had 26 here for me.
He's got a lot more action coming now.
Yeah, I mean, it was a really good week for me, but it's one of those where, like, I know at least 3 of those players are good for a decent amount of points every week, but the ones that did flash, I don't think they're gonna be able. Like Will Fuller, I don't see him getting like 26 points every week.
I could see him balling though. We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see what happens.
That's true. And that Indianapolis D didn't do as well for me as I thought, but they did better than my Minnesota D, who had -4 points that I didn't play. So
I have Dallas D's in for some mistakable reason. I don't know what I was thinking there. It's pretty much all I had. I was like, oh, Dallas.
But I mean, I had a pretty successful week here. It's looking pretty good, man. I'm excited for week 2.
Me too.
Yes, Alex, he's coming off of an L, so.
Bro, I played. I have two leagues here, and I have like a league from. It's like a work league, but none of us work together anymore. We all used to work together, you know. But like it's like a work league, and I played Tanner, one of our buddies. Like me and you, we both I played him.
That's who I beat this week in fantasy.
I played him last week, and we call it the ESPN league because we both have 2. So whenever we talk about the leagues, we're like, we played week 1 in that. He whooped my ass, you know. Mm-hmm. So I lost in 2 leagues. Now I looked ahead, week 2 of Yahoo here. I play Tanner. So it's gonna just be me playing him back to back. Like, God damn, if he beats me again, I'm like, no. But we'll see what happens. Man. You want to go ahead and talk about these week 2 matchups and make our picks?
Yeah, man. Let's make our picks here for week 2. Got a lot of exciting games here.
A lot of games.
The first one, we'll get the not exciting one out first, and that's the Thursday night game. And that's the Bengals versus the Browns. All right, it's not the least exciting, other than like Washington versus Miami or something. It's the least exciting game you can have on Thursday night.
What my pick is for this.
I do too. I'm
Cincinnati.
putting the Bengals.
I'm picking Cincinnati. That's how much little faith I have in Baker Mayfield and them Browns. They are so bad, man.
Absolutely. Joe Burrow's going to get his first career win.
It's going to
Thursday
be
night.
The Ohio Bowl, and Ohio native Joe Burrow is going to be he's going to be so happy getting his first win. It's almost like put your money on it now, you know?
Yeah. Lock it down.
Lock it down.
Big game, Eagles versus the Rams.
On
1 o'clock.
I'm sorry.
To give some context, put some context into this. Lane Johnson's officially back at right tackle for this week. He's officially confirmed he's playing.
There's one piece.
I have to find the stat, but when the Eagles play without Lane Johnson, we are like 4-12 or
Oh,
something. When we play with Lane Johnson, we're like 15-3 or some shit. It's
okay.
wild. So like with him on the right side definitely helps, especially with Aaron Donald.
I'm still picking Los Angeles.
I feel you. To be honest, we signed an O lineman here today, so I'm. It's going to be close, but I think it's going to sound biased, but I think the Eagles are going to pull it out. I
Okay.
think coming off of such an ugly an ugly loss to the Washington No Names, unbiasedly, I think that it's going to be a really close game, but I think they're going to have an answer here. I
They're gonna
can't see
have
them going
to.
down.
You can't go down
Exactly.
0-2.
I don't see us being 0-2 after this week, and if they are 0-2 after this week, there's going to be a change. Something's going to happen where they're going to have like a meeting, like one of those early in
Man,
like
we'll see what
this is
happens.
something Eagles fans are used to seeing in the middle of the season. So
We'll see
in
what
some ways, I'm
happens.
kind of glad it's the beginning of the season instead of later.
We got.
But I'm picking the Eagles, man, over the Rams. I think they're
Yep,
going to do it.
I'm picking the Rams. We
I
got
understand.
Giants
That's
and the
understandable.
Bears.
Man,
I'm going with the
I think
Bears. After
I'm gonna pick the Bears.
what Mitchell Trubisky did last week, he turned me into a believer or nothing. Like, don't get me wrong, but hey, I didn't see nothing special out of Daniel Jones, and I did see a little something special out of Mitchell Trubisky last week. So
Yeah,
even though
exactly.
they have some problems right now with what's his name,
Andre,
Rob
yeah,
what
Robertson,
Robertson,
Robinson.
demanding a trade. So we'll see how
Yeah,
that unfolds. But I'm
yeah. They
gonna
said he wants like top wide receiver money. So I mean, he
actually
is balling. He played all 16 games last year. He had like
I
1,300 yards.
mid thought I changed my mind. I'm picking the Giants on this one simply because I don't unless something's wrong with Barkley, there's no way he's getting shut down like that again.
I thought about that as well.
There's no
To be
way.
honest,
Like
there's
I
no
could
way he's getting shut down again.
I'm gonna go ahead and pick the Giants on that. I changed my mind. I'm gonna pick the Giants. Who you picking Chicago or are you
I think I'm gonna pick Chicago. I
okay.
think I'm gonna stick with Chicago on this one.
Okay.
To be
We
honest.
got two differences so far.
I think Saquon is gonna ball.
I
To be
think he's gonna
honest, but
ball. He's not gonna
I
have
don't think
six
that's gonna
yards
be the
again.
deciding factor of it.
Yeah.
Um, Next we got the Falcons and the
Cowboys.
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 How about them Cowboys?
Two
Man,
L's in a row for them
I think
Cowboys.
the Cowboys could be 0-2.
Hmm.
They could, and that's the only good part about like if the Eagles would go 0-2, Dallas looks like they're gonna be going 0-2
It's gonna be the
against the
Redskins
Falcons.
division to lose. I mean, Washington no names
Yeah, the
division to
Washington No Names.
lose.
Surprisingly, Ron
Hey.
Rivera dude. I'm not surprised because Ron Rivera and Blackjack Del Rio like orchestrating that whole team.
Right.
Those are some pretty big minds. And
Hey.
like even with as little like they have some pieces like that defensive line is scary.
Right. Chase
Like
Young's a
with the
monster.
little with those little pieces they have, I think even those guys can like work something out.
Right. We'll see.
We'll
We'll
see
see.
though. Um,
But you
but yeah, I
picking?
mean,
Who you picking?
I'm picking the Falcons.
You
I'm
picking the
picking the
Falcons?
Falcons.
Okay. Okay.
Falcons over the Cowboys.
Same. All right. Well, we got
I think it's
Detroit.
going to be the same type of game too.
We got
They're going to
Detroit.
be somewhat close. Yeah.
We got Detroit
Um,
versus the Packers.
Packers, lock it down.
You pick it.
Packers,
just like
lock
that.
it down. Aaron Rodgers is doing Aaron Rodgers things right now, and you're not going to be able to stop him.
I'm picking the Packers as well. Like I agree with you. He's way too
Like,
hot right now, and
uh,
the Lions coming
way
off
too
of
hot.
that loss
I feel
to
like
Chicago
Aaron Rodgers
last week.
hasn't figured out. Aaron Rodgers is rolling. Then we got the Jaguars and the Titans. Can the Jaguars repeat what they did this week?
No.
Not likely against Derrick Henry and Ryan Tannehill. I'm
I
picking the
like
Titans.
Gardner Minshew, but I can't help but roll with the Titans here. They're playing great football, And Mike Vrabel knows exactly what he's doing. It seems like he's all of a sudden one of the. He's obviously not the best coach in the league, but he seems like his confidence level as a head coach is on a whole different level. He's doing crazy things. I'm picking Tennessee to go with that one.
I'm doing the same.
Colts. Vikings.
Colts and the Vikings. I think I got the Vikings on this one. Over the Colts. Leaning towards Phillip Rivers.
Maybe just to be cheeky. But my brain is telling me to go with primetime Kirk Cousins at a 1 o'clock game. But it is in Indy.
It is? Okay. I mean, I don't know. I still think the Vikings are gonna pull it out.
I'm going with the Colts.
Colts, okay. Cheeky.
I'm going with the Colts on that one to get their first win of the season at home. You know, Phillip Rivers is out there with his 12 kids, happy, you know. Next up.
49ers and Jets. I think I got the 49ers on this one.
This might be an ugly game.
Yeah.
I wonder what the spread is. The spread's already 7 points.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. That looks like the highest one so far, yeah. That's the highest spread on here. Oh no, Broncos Steelers is 7.5. Panthers Bucks is 9.
Lions Packers is 6. Oh yeah, Titans Jaguars is 9, bro. Tennessee is 9. Yeah. I skipped the game. We're gonna have to go back then. But yeah, I think I got the 49ers over the Jets on this one.
Yeah, it's hard.
Unless something crazy happens, I don't think the Jets are gonna be able to pull this off.
As much as I don't trust Jimmy Garoppolo, I don't trust Sam Darnold even more. You know, so like,
Adam Gase.
Yeah, Kyle Shanahan is at least a good coach.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Like, gotta let that have some type of power. He was in the Super Bowl last year, for goddamn it. Like, come on now.
Exactly. There's a reason. The game I skipped over was the Bills and the Dolphins division game here.
Perfectly acceptable to skip over this game.
Yeah, I got the Bills on that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna
bit on the Dolphins.
I'm gonna have to roll with the Bills. I just like we were talking about earlier. I think the Bills are gonna be a really good team this year, and the Dolphins don't quite have it figured out. They just lost Devontae Parker. I don't know how long he's gonna be out, but I know he got injured. So
yeah.
We'll see how they go.
Yeah.
I could see Tua starting before long. I think Fitzpatrick threw 3 interceptions. How long until Tua comes out?
That's true. I think the world's ready to see Tua.
Yeah.
Like, you got drafted and everything. You say you're healthy. Let's do it. Like, throw him out there.
Right.
The only way he's going to learn is getting him experience, man. It's not like they're trying to win now. Like, not like you're trying to win a Super Bowl right now.
Hey. They're just trying to get to the playoffs.
I'm ready for Tua time.
Next up, we got
Steelers Broncos.
Steelers Broncos.
Next game. I think I got the Steelers over the Broncos on this one.
Yeah, they're playing like they want to prove to everybody that they're the best defense in the league. You know, they're like,
yeah.
And with the Broncos, it might get kind of ugly, just like it was pretty. We were thinking it's going to get ugly with the 49ers and the Jets. So
true.
Big Ben's on that revenge tour, you know.
Yeah, I don't see him losing this week. They'll be 2-0.
Right.
Panthers and Buccaneers.
What do you think?
Oh, Tampa Bay Gronkaneers.
I
think Tampa Bay Gronkaneers are gonna get the W.
I think they'll figure it out here in the home opener.
I mean, yeah, I think they'll figure it out here in the home opener. They'll get a win. Unless Teddy B and CMC come out hot, you know. I mean, they did look good here in week 1. I mean, but I think Bruce Arians and the Bucs are gonna get everything figured out.
I'm gonna have to go with Tampa Bay. I don't see Tom Brady coming out and losing his first 2 games as a Buccaneer. That's gonna be hard to see. Like
that's like what we were saying, like with the Eagles. If they lose, something's wrong. They're gonna have to like kind of go back to the drawing board type shit.
It's something you got to figure out because you can't go 0-3.
Yeah, exactly. If you go 0-3,
You
there's
got
some trouble.
big
There's some
problems.
turmoil afoot. Um, yeah, I got Buccaneers there. The Washington No Names and the Cardinals.
Ooh.
Uh, I like the Cardinals in this game, but you never know. Maybe the Washington No Names got a fire lit under them.
I'm gonna pick
Ron
the no
Rivera.
names.
You gonna pick the No Names?
I don't know if I'll ever get an opportunity to pick them again. I don't know if they'll ever be in a position where I can pick them again. Even though I like the
Probably
Cardinals.
against like the Giants or something like that.
Yeah, true. They play them like twice a year. But
I
I'm
think they
gonna
play the
pick the no
Bengals at
names.
some point. The No Names.
I am a Ohio
Interesting
State
choice.
Buckeyes fan. So like at the end of the day, Dwayne Haskins and Chase Young, I'm
Dwayne
like,
Haskins.
man, I like seeing them in the NFL. It's just something special about that. I don't really like
Yeah.
the no names at all. Trust me, I've always hated whatever they were their nickname, and I'm just like, but I'm gonna go with them this week against the Cardinals to get a little surprise. You know, they're 6.5-point underdogs, but I'm gonna pick them.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a part of me that kind of wants to say the Washington No Names, but I think I'm gonna roll with the Cardinals on this one. I think D Hop's gonna pick up. Kyler Murray's gonna be like right where they left off. They got a system going.
We got 4 more games here.
Yeah, the Chiefs and the Chargers. I got the Chiefs.
I
think they're gonna be 2-0, man.
It's hard to not
Chiefs,
pick Kansas City right now. Big time. Yeah. How do you not pick the Chiefs? I'm sorry, Tyrod. We'll see what happens, but Tyrod. That's Pat Mahomes out there. Come on, man.
Got Ravens, Texans next. I got the Ravens.
Almost the same way that I was just talking about the last game.
Got the Ravens.
Listen, I like to see what Deshaun Watson does, but that's Lamar Jackson out there on the other side, and he's playing with a different type of confidence, like an MVP level, just like Pat Mahomes did. So this is the
He's
year.
He's hungry. He's like, I'm tired of people doubting me. Right. Get eliminated in the playoffs. Like we're coming. Like we're going strong this year.
And this, if you look at it, if you compare him and Pat Mahomes to their MVP seasons, the year after winning MVP, they won the Super Bowl. So
true.
We'll see what happens to Lamar Jackson this year. But
I'm picking Baltimore. Playoff game is Ravens and Chiefs.
Right.
The playoff game, like the conference championship
or
something.
I wanted it last year.
Yeah.
But we didn't get it. We got robbed by Tennessee.
Then you guys got the big old primetime game on Sunday. Look at you. That's going to be a good game.
We're going to get whooped on primetime. No, just kidding. Patriots, Seahawks, 8:20 Sunday night. Cam Newton, first primetime game as a Patriot. I have to roll with my Patriots. What do you think? I'm definitely going with them Patriots. Look, this might be bad. Russell Wilson might throw 4 touchdowns on us, but at the same time, the defense ain't too shabby. He did pick off Ryan Fitzpatrick 3 times, but got 3 interceptions last game. That defense looked as good as it did last year, to be like.
Yeah, I agree.
It was the Dolphins, though. So
maybe if it was any other team,
exactly,
except for the Chiefs, I would pick the Patriots. But I'm gonna pick the Seahawks on this one. I'm sorry.
Well then,
I'm gonna take the Seahawks on this one.
We'll see what
happens. That's not just
to
be cheeky.
Yeah, my brain's telling me to pick Seattle, but my heart's telling me to pick New England. So I'm going with my heart on that one.
Man, it wasn't like that's not even like my Eagles pick. I like my heart and my brain are telling me like I think they're gonna figure something out for the Rams. Listen, the Rams haven't beaten the Eagles in like 8 years. It's not happening this Sunday. It's not happening Sunday, dude.
We'll see if it does. I'll have that game up on you.
I'm picking the Seahawks against the Pats.
Okay.
And then the big Monday night game is the Saints and the Raiders. And I'm going to tell you what, I'm picking the Raiders, my friend. The Raiders are going to win.
What? I already wrote your pick down because I thought for sure. Look, I already wrote your pick down. I thought for sure you were going to pick New Orleans.
The Raiders are going to win this game.
The Raiders.
And I'll tell you why. The Saints don't have Michael Thomas, my friend. He's out for a couple weeks, confirmed.
They still got Drew Brees.
The Raiders got Josh Jacobs. They got Henry Ruggs. They got some pieces, man. I think they're going to be able to pull it off. I smell an upset on Sunday night.
I like your logic. I like where you're going with that. I still am rolling with Drew Brees and them Saints Monday night.
That's understandable.
6-point favorites.
I understand why anybody would pick the Saints in that game.
Michael Thomas being out is a huge pick. Is a huge blow, though.
Las Vegas. Where's it at?
It's the opener, home opener in Las Vegas.
Las Vegas is winning this game in that new stadium.
Monday night.
It's happening.
Yep.
Lock it down.
There's gonna be a lot of sad people that aren't in those stands.
But that's the picks for week 2, man.
Yep.
It's going to be pretty exciting.
We'll see how that turns out. Starting tonight when this airs, technically, because this is coming on at 4 o'clock Thursday. So
definitely.
Tonight we have that Bengals Browns game, but hey, we gotta get through the mud to get to the sunshine. So
I have somewhat of a surprising announcement here.
What?
Breaking news. It's not going to be happening anytime here this season, but we have a special guest lined up here after the football season commences. Pretty big sports personality. He has his own podcast. Played in the NFL, decent for a while. A man named Ross Tucker. I don't know if you know who Ross Tucker is. I've been in contact with him, and apparently he's available to come on. He's pretty booked during the season, obviously, doing a lot of shows and his podcasts and everything. Okay. But he said he is down to be on the podcast here after the season. So I mean, that's something to look forward to.
That's pretty awesome. It's
pretty exciting.
That's pretty awesome.
It's pretty official. Yeah.
That's news
I mean, it's a while away.
Didn't even know.
Yeah, I mean, it's breaking news. I literally just found out. I just received the message.
Breaking news. We'll have that coming across the top. Breaking news.
Breaking news.
That's awesome. That's really awesome.
That's something to be excited about. I mean,
for
everybody watching, we're trying to kind of dip our feet in the water of trying to get some guests on here eventually. Even like content creators talking about other teams and such, or even just like people that played in the NBA or NFL. So I mean,
trying to get some other opinions, more or less.
Exactly. We're trying to look at some other opinions, try to get some interviews, trying to like see what it's like in the NFL, talk about people's careers and such.
Exactly.
But yeah, that's pretty exciting, man. I just found that out as we were talking here.
Nice. So we got that to look forward to at the end of the season.
Got that to look forward to, man. I mean, so we'd be able to recap everything that happened. That'd be pretty decent conversation. So I mean, that's a whiles away, but that's that's exciting news to announce.
That's awesome.
Well, yeah, we got to roll on here. NBA and NHL. We'll talk about NHL here first. The playoffs, since that's probably quickest. Getting pretty thin. The Las Vegas Golden Knights upset, man. They're not going to the Stanley Cup Finals. We all thought happened. Everybody thought the Vegas Golden Knights were rolling into the finals.
And you have Tampa Bay up.
Right
Tampa Bay up 3-1 on those Islanders. So like everybody kind of expected that.
They're looking to finish it off here. Right now, actually, they're playing. I think the Islanders are up 1-0 as we're talking right now.
And so, by Thursday, it'll be finished here.
It could go on, but I mean, at this point, I think Dallas Lightning's going to win that series, but that's going to be a really good finals.
Right.
If it's Lightning and Dallas. I mean, both of them are amazing teams.
That's what I'm hoping it is. That would be crazy because it just seems like, I don't know. The Islanders are so fast, though, so it's like, it's interesting.
Yeah, the Islanders are really fast.
It's like they're just fun to watch. They're fun to watch too.
They're really fun to watch. So I think they had like 2 or 3 goals, and like I forget what it was, a super short amount of time the other night. And I was like, what in the world's going? How are they doing this?
God damn. But hey,
it's wild.
I would like to see either. I'd probably like to see them versus Dallas in the Stanley Cup. Even though I think Tampa Bay's a better team, I want to see New York in there. Just New York. I think Golden Knights are a better team than Dallas.
I don't know. They have. I think they have someone that got hurt.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, they're already down. It's going to be really tough for them to come back and win this series
Yeah,
and then
down
go into
3-1.
the finals.
But it would be
Yeah,
nice. It
so
would be cool to see.
it would be nice to see because I actually kind of like the Islanders, even though
Right.
they eliminated my Flyers. I always liked them. Um, but yeah, that's NHL's that finals is going to be really really good if the Lightning get in
It's
there.
marching along just fine.
NBA is heating up, man. That's getting super
Are
exciting.
we going to
well.
have a team come back from a 3-1 deficit twice in one series, in one playoffs? Like the Nuggets.
Ever happened before.
I don't know if it. I don't think it's ever happened before.
I don't think it's ever happened.
I know people have come back from 3-1, but I don't know if a team's ever done it twice. Like that's crazy.
Twice, yeah.
Like
those Denver Nuggets are no joke, man. They're proving why they deserve to be in the playoffs.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And by the time this airs, that game's over, so you guys know the answer.
Yeah, you already know what happened.
But I'm so looking forward to that game tonight.
They're so off, like they're like a light switch, man. They're on and off. Like you never know what kind of Clippers team you're gonna get.
From quarter to quarter, almost.
Yeah.
You know,
exactly.
Is this the team that just blew us out the other night, or what? You know what I mean? Like I just don't. I don't. And that's why I think the Lakers seem to be hitting their stride at the perfect point. You know?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like. And
now they get the rest.
After each series so far, they've gotten nice, long, extended periods of rest, and it's nice, man. Like they're rolling. Whoever comes out of this series are going to give the Lakers a lot of trouble in the conference finals.
Yeah, for sure.
I can't wait to see who it is.
Yeah.
Such a good series.
I was rooting for the Clippers, but I mean, I'm kind of like on board with these Nuggets, man. I would really like to see them go against the Lakers. I think they could be a problem for them.
See, I personally think it'd be easier to beat the Nuggets than it would be the Clippers.
You think so?
Just the way that we match up about them, you know.
Yeah.
I think the Clippers seem like they have a
Plus the Battle of LA would be a nice.
They've been built to beat us. You know, like
they were. They're definitely built.
I don't want to play. I don't want to play the Clippers.
Facts. Yeah.
But we'll see what happens.
And then we got a really exciting game that's going on. Like it's about to end here in the next couple of minutes.
Oh, yeah.
The Heat and Celtics. As we're speaking right now, the Celtics are up by 5 here with a minute left in the fourth.
No, man. No. The Heat are up by 1 with 22 seconds left in the game right now. 106-105 with 22 seconds left. That's crazy. Like because I just looked at it too, and they were winning. The Celtics were winning. So by Thursday, obviously, once again, this game will be over, but it's live right now for us.
We talked about how crazy of a series this was going to be, man.
And of course.
Like, this proves it. It's within 1 point with 22 seconds left.
Exactly.
Like, this is going to be, like, that's what I'm seeing the Clippers and Lakers conference final is going to be like. It's just going to be a battle the whole time.
Man.
And that's the best basketball. That's the best playoff basketball.
I can't wait for it. I can't wait for this.
Yeah.
Like, for whoever it is, whoever we match up with, it's going to be nice to see. Oh,
absolutely, man. Absolutely. But yeah, I mean, that pretty much covers what's been going on. I know there's not really much to talk about here about, like, the NHL and NBA because it's just a playoff series as of right now.
Right.
And plus, it's just so much, like, the NFL is back. And we're talking week to week with that. There's so many storylines going on.
There's going to be so much to cover in the NBA.
Exactly. So, I mean...
Or NFL, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so, I mean, even with the NBA and NHL going on here into the finals here soon, we're going to be talking a ton of football here coming up. But yeah, I mean, there's only a couple things left to do here. I know we're rolling for a pretty long episode so far.
Oh, yeah. It's all good, though.
But we got the bias bubble we're going to do here really quick, as usual.
Talk about our own teams, what we got going on.
Yeah. If you're first time watching Bias Bubble, we're just talking about our own teams here, see what's going on in our own world. You can go ahead, Vern. What's going on in your neck of the woods here?
Over here in New England, we talked about it a little bit already. Cam Newton coming out with a great first performance. Julian Edelman looking all right. I mean, it was nice to see. N'Keal Harry every time I see him out there, because remember at first he was hurt forever, so it was a while before he even
Yeah.
came out there. But every time I see him out there, he's so damn tall. He's just a big dude, and I'm like, damn, if he
He
could
was
only
tall. I was like, who is that?
right, if he could only just pan out, like that's gonna be nice.
Yeah.
But I'm really liking the offense, the way the offense looked. It's gonna need to.
It's so different.
It's so different, but it's good. I mean, it's not. Yeah, it's so different. It's way different. But like, it's gonna need some polishing to put points up, to put a lot, because they only scored I think 21. But hey, I loved what I saw. The defense looking just as good as always. Just as good as always. You got Stefan Gilmore getting a pick six. Hey, what else could I ask for? It looked great. Now,
That's true.
Run it into Seattle next week. Okay. And then I forget who we play, but I remember it's not that tough of a matchup week 3. And then the Chiefs week 4. So, my hopes... I hope the team gets better by week 4. That way we can match up with the Chiefs a little bit better.
Absolutely.
And then otherwise, the Lakers right now are just...
sitting back waiting.
Getting healthy.
Waiting for their opponent.
Just waiting. Playing Madden tournaments. Doing stuff like that in the bubble. Doing stuff like whenever you're in like basketball camp and stuff like, well, I don't know, so there's not really much for me to talk about as far as the Lakers. They're chilling. Everything is going great for the Lakers right now. Just waiting for their opponent.
Just football right now for you.
Just football.
As of right now.
Waiting for week 2 matchup.
That's exactly the same for me, man. I mean, the Bulls haven't done anything. Flyers are eliminated.
Yep.
I mean, it's just Eagles football over here as of right now. Wearing my Brian Dawkins jersey here today.
Hell yeah.
Representing old school. A lot of worried thoughts going around in the Eagles camp right now.
A lot of people hurt.
You know how fan bases are. Overreaction Mondays.
Oh yeah.
People are fucking calling for Wentz to be benched and like we need to trade Wentz and all this. And I'm like, bro, chill. Obviously there's a lot of blame to put on Carson for this game, but it's not all Carson's fault.
That O-line.
The O-line, there's 6 people injured on the O-line. Like just O-line players, 6 of them were injured.
What was it, 8 sacks?
8 sacks, which is like the most sacks Carson's ever had in his career.
Damn.
This is definitely one of the top 3 worst games him and Doug Peterson have had in Philly.
It was great in the first half.
I mean, yeah, and that's what I was gonna say is even though there was so much bad, there is some good things to look at in this game. The defense statistically was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Even though like we talked about before, Washington when they got the ball was already pretty much almost in our red zone.
Exactly.
It's hard to hold that every time. When the defense is on the field pretty much all game, it's hard.
Especially by the end. When the offense is turning it on, they're getting harder and harder to stop too.
Yeah, the Redskins, because the Redskins were actually changing their game plan as they were rolling, where we didn't do anything. We just kept trying to do the same old shit.
Right.
Where I don't know if they're just afraid to get Carson to roll out and move more or what, because that's the first time I've ever seen him stand in the pocket for a whole game.
And I
was like, what is going on?
Like almost refused to throw it away.
Yeah. That's exactly what it looked like. He's just holding onto the ball too long.
What are you doing?
And it's like, what are you doing? Yeah. And then just forcing passes. And I mean, that the 2 interceptions were bad throws, but it was also miscommunication with both of the interceptions were to rookie receivers, where the rookies went their route, but they didn't come back. They just turned around and waited for the ball to come to them, where you're supposed to go forward to the ball.
I gotcha.
Where that's where both interceptions happened, where they just turned around and waited for the ball, where the defender just jumped in front of them.
He just went after it.
And that's what happens. Exactly. But I mean, that's just something they're going to learn. That's for them being rookies.
So, yeah.
Feel a little bit better. Lane Johnson's back. They're saying Miles Sanders is probably going to be back, so that's going to help. We signed an O-lineman today that used to be on the Falcons, I guess.
Okay.
Which I'll take any help we can get at this point. I don't care who. But yeah, I mean, I I'm kind of excited for the game this weekend. I think we'll kind of get things sorted out
Who do you
because
play
there is
again?
some positives. The Rams.
Rams, that's right. Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, I think we'll turn it around. There's a lot of positives. Like I think Jalen Rager is going to be a star here eventually. I mean, he's so fast.
He's
He's
already
like it seemed
proven
like
to
he was.
be great. You know,
Yeah, he's like
they'll show little
burning
flashes of it.
corners. Exactly. I think him and Carson are gonna be nice here over the next couple of years. I mean, there's a lot to be excited for. I mean, the defense is nice. Darius Slay apparently locked down their number one wide receiver the whole game.
Right.
He's like, I'm glad we got a corner that can lock down a receiver finally. I mean, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. The only thing I'm really worried about is the O line and possibly Zach. You can't see the jersey anymore, but the Zach Ertz talk that's going
Situation.
on around the league.
Right.
I mean, it was kind of misrepresented a little bit. The initial report was saying that him and Howie Roseman got into a heated discussion after practice, but the same person that broke the story went on an interview and was talking about it, and then said something he neglected to mention here in the actual report was after they got done with the heated argument, they hugged it out, and then went and they were cool after that. Like it didn't end heated.
That's the media.
Everything was cool. Exactly, and that's the media just hyping up a story that probably doesn't need to be hyped.
Right.
And I mean, it doesn't help that Dallas Goddard got all these targets in like this past game.
Ertz got
Zach Ertz got a
though.
touchdown, but I mean, so does Goddard, and Goddard had a little bit more he was targeted a little bit more. So obviously, people are like, "Oh, they're not targeting Zach as much. He's not a team captain like he usually is." And such and such, and I was like, "Come on, man! Like you're reaching at this point."
Week 1.
And then it's week 1. I think we'll be okay. Just got to make some adjustments. I mean, for some reason we're always injured, which is a problem. But there's not much we can do about that.
Y'all need to get a different training facility or training staff or something.
Bro, this is a new training staff. We fired the last ones.
I don't know what the problem is out there.
I think it's cursed. I think we're cursed.
Okay.
What I said before is usually this shit happens. It's like in the middle of the season. I'm glad it's happening now. So hopefully the rest of the season can kind of go smoothly. But
Hopefully it doesn't
other than
get
that,
worse.
that's pretty much the how it's going here in Philly.
Right.
Just we're looking for some hope here. Going into week 2. But yeah, man, that's the bias bubble this week.
Okay.
Not much. Pretty down times on my end.
Just straight football mostly.
Just straight football from me from now on. for a while.
All right. Well, you know what time it is.
You already know what time it is.
Cue that horn.
Cue them horns. We got the crazy sports stat / fact of the podcast.
What do you got for me this week? You want me to go?
I got. Yeah, you can go, man.
Mine is a quick one, and it's kind of like we already dookied on him this episode, so we'll dookie on him some more. The only team to never, ever play nor host a Super Bowl. What is it?
Is it the Cleveland Browns?
The Cleveland Browns. We have a winner. They are so terrible that they have never played in nor hosted, probably just because it's Cleveland, a Super Bowl. And I just thought that was a little bit ridiculous.
I didn't know they were never even in a Super Bowl.
No.
They never had an appearance, let alone a win.
No.
That's crazy. Yeah, I didn't know that. That's wild.
It's ridiculous.
You blew my mind there, Vern. I didn't know that.
They're
I thought
terrible.
at least every team's been there at least once.
They've been to the NFL championships. They've never been to the Super
But
Bowl.
not the Super Bowl.
Right.
Damn.
That's
Mine is actually an NFL one too, to be honest. It involves Brett Favre.
Involves. That's a good one.
It involves Brett Favre. Brett Favre's first NFL completion was to himself.
I knew that.
Yeah, I figured that would be like a stat you knew.
I knew that.
But I know a lot of people might not. But there's another one on top of that. Brett Favre and Randy Moss are the oldest players to catch a pass at 40 years old.
Wow. Brett Favre ended up.
Brett Favre and Randy Moss are the only players to catch a pass at 40
So
years
he
old.
did it when he was older too. Then, like, did he throw it to himself, or was that like a bootleg type of thing? Where
It must have been. It must have been a different play.
Interesting. Well, it definitely was. You know what I mean?
Receiver wise, yeah. I think it was like a receiving because I don't think it would be like behind the line.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Brett Favre is one of the people who's the oldest like. Tom Brady should try to go out and catch one pass just to try to set that record with his 63-year-old ass.
I mean, he'd be running it. Why not? Just like do like a Philly special. I mean, he tried it in the Super Bowl
and it failed.
Just do that same play like on the Bucks. I'm sure he'll get it. He's like 43. He'll break the record.
Starting to show his age, Tom. You doing,
Unless
Tom?
he gets his block knocked off whenever after he catches it, then there's trouble.
And Gronk just starts laughing at him or something.
He's like, oh.
Tom Brady.
Gronk, you're supposed to be my friend.
You alright, Tom?
You're supposed to be my friend. Stop laughing. Yeah, man, that was a good episode. It's definitely a longer episode than we used to. I mean, we kind of predicted that once football started, it would be a little longer.
Exactly.
But yeah, man, it was a really good show today. A lot of stuff to talk about, and there'll be even more stuff to talk about next week, I'm sure.
Got week 2 to look forward to, man. Got our list of our picks, so we're gonna definitely make sure we keep up on that. Let you know.
Yeah, man, we're making picks every week.
Figure out who wins at the end of the season.
Yeah, see who wins the special prize.
We'll put money or something on her, like something like a special. I don't know. We'll figure something out. Like we'll go halves. We'll go halves on a new video game, and then the winner will get the video game at the end or something like that. I don't know. Like we'll figure something out.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
Like something random, like you know. But we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But thanks everybody for watching.
Be sure to like and subscribe.
Mm-hmm.
Go watch the other Squad Pods podcast that comes out every Friday. What was that?
Absolutely.
Oh, I thought you said something else.
Nope.
Go follow Big Money Nation for video game clips, and everything. Follow Squad Pod Sports on Twitter. Always posting and tweeting on there.
Every day.
And every day. So yeah, man. Thanks for tuning in, and hope you tune in next time. See you later.
See you.